All right, today we're taking a deep dive, literally, into the vast blue ocean to meet some of its most majestic inhabitants. Get ready for an amazing journey into the wonderful world of whales. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Think about every creature that has ever existed on this planet. I'm talking dinosaurs, woolly mammoths, the whole shebang. Which one do you think was the absolute biggest, the heavyweight champion of all time? Well, the answer might just surprise you.
Believe it or not, the biggest animal ever isn't some long-gone fossil. It's alive right now, swimming in our oceans as we speak. Yup, it's the incredible blue whale. The largest creature in the entire history of our planet shares the world with us today. How cool is that?
So, just how big are we talking? Well, a blue whale can grow up to 33 meters. To put that in perspective, that's longer than 3 school buses parked bumper to bumper. It's a scale that is honestly hard to even wrap your head around. Now, when you see that massive tail and those fins, it's easy to think they're just really, really big fish. But the truth is, their biology is actually a lot closer to ours than you might think. That's right, whales are mammals. Just like us, they have to come to the surface to breathe air. They're warm-blooded. They even have a little bit of hair. And the whale mothers, which are called cows, give birth to live babies called calves, and they feed them milk. The males are called bulls, and when you see a group of them together, that's often called a pod. You know, the whole whale family tree, which includes dolphins and porpoises too, is split into 2 major groups, and it all comes down to what's inside their mouths. On one side, you have the baleen whales, those giant filter feeders like the blue whale, and on the other side, you've got the toothed whales, which is a super diverse group that includes everything from dolphins to the giant sperm whale.
Okay, so that brings up a pretty obvious question, right? If you're the biggest animal on the planet, what on earth do you eat to power that enormous body? Let's get into the incredible feeding strategies these ocean titans use.
So, instead of teeth, the massive baleen whales have this stuff called baleen. Just look at it. It's a series of flexible, bristly plates that hang down from their upper jaw, and it creates this massive, perfect filter. It's one of the most efficient food-gathering systems in the entire animal kingdom. So how does it actually work for what we call a gulper whale, like a humpback or a blue whale? It is an absolutely spectacular process. First, they just open their giant mouths and take in this colossal gulp of water that's packed with food. Their throat expands like crazy to hold it all in. Then they use their massive tongue to force all that water out through the baleen, which acts like a giant sieve, trapping thousands of tiny, delicious krill inside. And this shot illustrates perfectly what makes that giant gulp possible. See those grooves on the whale's throat? Those are called throat pleats. They literally work like an accordion, letting the whale's mouth balloon outwards to hold a volume of water that can actually be bigger than the whale itself. It's incredible. And the payoff for this amazing technique, it's just staggering. At the peak of its feeding season, a single blue whale can eat up to 40 million krill. 40 million! In a single day. Living your entire life in the ocean, well, that requires a pretty specialized biological toolkit. And whales, they are perfectly engineered for their environment with some truly amazing adaptations. I mean, think about it for a second. These are air-breathing mammals that hunt for food deep down in the dark ocean. So how do they deal with that immense, bone-crushing pressure down there, all while holding their breath for what seems like an impossible amount of time? Well, they are just perfectly designed for it. Their bodies are streamlined so they can just glide through the water without wasting energy. Their muscles are packed with a special protein called myoglobin, which basically acts like a personal scuba tank, storing extra oxygen for those long dives. And here's the really genius part. Their rib cages are flexible, and their lungs are actually designed to collapse safely under pressure. This prevents all the serious problems that human divers have to worry about. Even the way they sleep is an incredible adaptation. They can't just completely pass out like we do, because they have to stay conscious enough to remember to breathe. So what do? Some species, like sperm whales, have been spotted sleeping vertically in groups, just kind of hanging there in the water. They take these short little power naps, staying close to the surface so they're ready for their next breath. But a whale is so much more than just its physical adaptations. These are highly intelligent, social animals with complex ways of communicating, and cultures that we are really only just beginning to understand. And their social lives are just fascinatingly different depending on the species. On the one hand, you have animals like orcas who live in these complex, tight-knit family pods for their entire lives. And then on the other, you have a humpback whale, where the males are famous for their haunting, lonely songs that can travel for hundreds of miles across the ocean. Sound is everything in the ocean, and whales are absolute masters of using it. Toothed whales use clicks and pulses for echolocation. It's like a biological sonar system they use to navigate and find food. Whistles are often used to talk to each other in the pod, and the deep, low-frequency moans of baleen whales can travel across entire ocean basins. And of course, there are the famous songs of the humpback, which are some of the most complex sounds made by any animal on Earth. And all of this leads to one of the most mind-blowing ideas in all of animal science: whale culture. We're not just talking about instinct here. We are talking about learned traditions passed down from mother to calf through generations. Different orca pods will develop unique hunting techniques, while humpback whale songs change over time and spread through populations just like a hit song on the radio. Okay, for our final section, we're going to look at something huge: the profound impact these animals have on the health of our entire planet. You see, they aren't just living in the ocean, they are actively making it a better, healthier place. This incredible role is centered on a process scientists call the whale pump. It might sound like a machine, but it's actually a beautiful, natural cycle that is absolutely essential for the health of our oceans. It's actually a pretty simple and elegant cycle. Whales will often dive deep down to feed on things like krill and squid. But because they're mammals, they have to come back up to the sunlit surface to breathe. And when they're up there, they release these enormous plumes of nutrient-rich poop. This waste acts as a fantastic fertilizer for phytoplankton, those microscopic plants that form the very bottom of the entire marine food web. And why is that so important? Well, get a load of this. By fertilizing these tiny little plants, whales help kickstart these massive blooms that absorb incredible amounts of carbon dioxide and produce a huge portion of the oxygen that you and I are breathing right now. Whales are quite literally the gardeners of the ocean. So, we've seen their mind-boggling size, their brilliant adaptations, their complex societies, and their crucial role as the ocean's gardeners. It really makes you stop and wonder, knowing all of that, what other profound secrets are these gentle giants just waiting to share with us?